Hey guys, so I am finally going to film my London haul. It is the 4th of July, so I thought what better time than to film a haul of all the things I brought back from London in April when we went over. So if you haven't heard me say it in previous videos, my husband is from London and his family is still over there. And so we decided to go over for my birthday / Easter and visit his family and just have fun more generally. So since I've been to London several times before, there weren't really a list of like makeup items that I was dying to try. Frankly, you can find most of the brands either online or in the US. So there wasn't anything that I was really looking for in that regard. But there were a few things that I picked up, a few souvenirs. And I'll show you the first thing here that I've been kind of storing everything in. It's a Whole Foods bag. Has London, has Big Ben, London phone booth, the London Eye, that weird tower. I think that's St. Paul's, Black Cab. I think this is supposed to be the Tower Bridge, the Gherkin, the Shard, I think that's called. And those are all the big things that I kind of recognize. And then on the back here, it's kind of a sketched version of the British flag, and it says London Whole Foods Market. And we picked this up at the Whole Foods. I don't know if there's more than one, but there's a Whole Foods in Piccadilly Circus. And we weren't making a special trip there. We were just walking past it and decided to pick up a bottle of wine. So I ended up getting the bag as well. Okay, so I have two Starbucks mugs here. I like to collect the kind of destination mugs. And the first one, so I have several London and England Starbucks mugs already, but this was a new design that they put out, and I have mugs in this style from different US locations, so I decided to pick these up as well. And this one is England, right here. So this one has, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like the Brighton Pier, Wimbledon probably. I'm not sure if this is like Cambridge or Oxford. I can't remember which. This could be the Cotswolds, maybe, the little cottages. I think this is Stonehenge. There's a teapot and cup of tea, an umbrella. This looks like it might be the Tower of London as well. And then there is the phone booth. So it has the dark blue interior, and I don't know exactly how much this was. I want to say it was probably around 10 pounds. Yeah, so this was 10 pounds. And then I got a London specific one as well. So this one, you can see it has the London Eye. Again, it has the Gherkin, cup of tea, the Tower Bridge. I think that's the St. Paul's silhouette, the bus, and again, Big Ben. There, so it says London. So this one has the red interior. These are also really good soup mugs, by the way. Good size for that if you don't need any more coffee mugs, but I do kind of collect these Starbucks ones. And then we went to the Lego store in Leicester Square, and obviously Lego is not really specifically British. But they had a few things. We picked up a lot of minifigures. I collect those little minifigures, so we collected a bunch of those, and I picked up this little minifigure. I still have him in the plastic here, but he just has like the British flag on his vest, and he has an umbrella, so he's really cute. So this was 6 pounds, kind of expensive for a minifigure, but it is a collectible that you can only get there. So with my purchase, I got this minifigure factory gift with purchase. So this is, like it suggests, a minifigure factory. So you can see the very small ones are like the minifigures that are being created, and this is, I guess, the factory worker. So I just thought this was really fun. And actually, when you open it, the box itself is kind of like the factory. So that was really fun. I think this was some anniversary of the minifigure. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. Oh, so 1978 has a little thing there. So I'm guessing it was the 40th anniversary, I guess. Let's see. So you undo it at the top and it falls forward, and then I don't know what these are. Little pictures of the different minifigures and all the stuff in here. So anyway, so that was just kind of a nice little collectible to pick up. All right, so we also went to the British Museum, and the backstory is that my husband and I met at the British Museum. So when we first met back in 2006, I guess, so like 12 years ago. So anyway, so the British Museum holds a special place in our hearts, and I wanted to pick up some specific souvenirs that I had seen online and didn't want to pay postage for. So that is the bag, like so. And the designer, I think her name is Josie something or other. Josie Chenoy is the artist, and she designed this motif of all these different symbols of things that are at the British Museum, and of course they plastered it on everything. So a little magnet like that. So that was £3. And then I got this same design. You can kind of see more of the full thing here. This is a, I guess, greeting card. It says, Josie Chenoy is a London-based illustrator well known for her decorative take on cities and their stories. This illustrated design celebrates the city's ability to juxtapose different periods in history through the mix of some of the most iconic buildings in the world. The British Museum, completed in 1852, was designed in the Greek Revival style by Sir Robert Smirke, I guess. So anyway, so I thought it would be nice to put this in a frame. I'm not sure exactly what the dimensions are here, but anyway, that was my intention, was to frame that. So that was £3 also, that greeting card. So I kind of went overboard with this design, but I decided I would rather just have these items than worry about not getting them later on. So I got a tea towel, which is that same design, just very large. And this is another thing that I thought I could perhaps frame. If you have seen my other London haul that I've done, I think that one was in 2014, so, almost 4 years ago. I picked up a lot of tea towels on that trip, so I have kind of a tea towel collection, and these I've specifically purchased not to use, but to use for decoration. And that tea towel was £14. And then I got a little tote bag, just the same design, and then on the back kind of has a close-up. I think this is the same almost as what is on the magnet. So I won't probably have like the tea towel and this framed. I just kind of wanted to have options later on. Alright, so that was it for that design. And then I also picked up a Christmas ornament. This is just like a little stuffed kind of pillow design. This has the, let's see, the colonnade, I guess you would say, of the facade. I did take art history once upon a time. Yeah, so it just has the kind of front of the building. And then the last thing I got from the British Museum, that ornament, by the way, I think was £9. And then I got a passport holder. So I think this is from the brand Undercover, and this was £20. So it looks like that has the black and gold and the elastic strap, like so. And then it has a clear pocket and then just a normal kind of leather pocket. So I thought if I didn't use this for a passport cover, I could also find just a little notepad to stick in there and use it that way. I know a lot of people don't bother with passport covers because you have to take the passport out, I think, when you go through security, but I think they do help your passport from getting kind of bent and put out of shape once you're at your destination. Okay, so that was it for the British Museum. So one of the reasons I thought it would be fun to film this on the 4th of July, of course I'm American, my husband is British, so it has that connection. But we also saw Hamilton in London. It was the first time I'd seen it, only time actually. And we actually purchased the tickets on our wedding day, the day of. So we got married in January of 2017, I guess. So that was when I think they did the pre-sale, if I remember correctly. But anyway, we purchased the tickets on our wedding day, and the day of the performance that we saw was actually my birthday, so that was really fun. And I guess I'll show you the first thing here that I'm wearing. So I'll show you the first thing that I'm wearing. This is a Hamilton t-shirt, and of course it has all the stars on it. And then if I can show you on the back, hopefully you can see that. It just says London, and it has the Hamilton logo above it. So I'm a huge Hamilton fan, a huge musical fan generally, so I went a little ham at the gift shop. So I got a tote bag. It says Hamilton, and it has those stars on the back. And let's see here. Alright, so I got another mug. Mugs, by the way, are one of the worst souvenirs to get because they take up so much room and you have to worry about them breaking. So not really great for that reason, but I couldn't resist. And I kind of looked at the Hamilton gift shop online before we went and tried to look at like Instagram and that sort of thing to kind of get a feel for what they had that was different from like the New York store and what the prices would be. So I've never been to the New York gift shop, but I have looked at it online. And I got this mug that is, I think it's meant to be gold. It really looks more like a bronze, but it has those same kind of silhouettes all over it. And it's just plain on the inside. This is from Creative Goods, I guess, is the company that made this. And I think I actually prefer the mug that says, I think it says wait for it, but I decided to pick that up anyway. And then this might be one of my favorite things just for the pun value alone. It says, I am not throwing away my shot. And you guessed it, it's a shot glass. So it has the I'm not throwing away my shot, Alexander Hamilton, and then it has the Hamilton logo on the back. And then I also got a magnet, same Hamilton design there. And then a few more things here. I got the London program, and it says who lives, who dies, who tells your story. I think they also have the program for the original Broadway cast, so if you want the London program specifically, just be careful which one you pick up. And another cool thing about the week that we went, we saw it on Saturday, which was my birthday, and then that following Sunday. So my husband's family is Greek Orthodox, so their Easter is actually like a week later, at least it was this year. And the Olivier Awards were that night, so I got to watch the Olivier Awards after Easter dinner, so that was really cool. And one thing that was different about those awards compared to like the Tony Awards, I think the Tony Awards, they hand out some of the awards maybe during the commercials, that sort of thing, but the Olivier Awards, they do like the ceremony and then they show the recap later, and it ends up being at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night or something. So the timing of it was a little weird, but I still got a chance to watch it. And then of course I had to pick up the tea towel, which if I ever have a beauty room would be nice to display. Has that kind of gold foiling, and it says Hamilton down at the bottom. And I think tea towels are kind of a fun, uniquely British souvenir item, and they also pack really well. You don't have to worry about them breaking, so that's one thing I would recommend maybe looking for while you're over there. Last time we went, I picked up a few from Liberty of London, and I'm trying to think, maybe Fortnum & Mason, so kind of two very traditional British department stores, that sort of thing. Oh, so here's my receipt. So I spent £91 total, which is well over $100 if you're curious. The magnet was £6, the mug was $15, the shot glass was $8, the tote was $8 that I showed you. I got a poster that I'm about to show you, and that was £7. The program was $4, which is kind of a bargain compared to some of the American programs, and I think you could absolutely frame this. It's almost like a album cover, like maybe a few inches shorter, but it's square. So, and I don't think you get like a playbill or anything when you go to see the show, so that's another difference. Let's see. Program, the tea towel was $15, and the t-shirt that I'm wearing was $28, which was kind of a lot. So if I had to recommend anything, I mean, the magnet was kind of fun. It's not too expensive. I would go for probably the shot glass over the mug. And the shot glass was also like half the cost almost. The tote is fine, but 8 pounds is kind of expensive. You know, it kind of depends if you want to have something on the wall or not in terms of if you get the poster. The program I think is a great value. And the tea towel. The London t-shirt, it's nice, and I don't know, I like the irony of having a London t-shirt for Hamilton. But it didn't necessarily wash the best. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Anyway, so this is the poster. And again, I'm not sure exactly what size this is, but that is kind of the full size. So anyway, so that is the poster, and then it all came in a clear plastic bag that says London. It has the Hamilton logo above it. Okay, so I think that was nearly it. I think I just have some duty-free items to show you. But before we get to that, I did want to show you, I kept a 10-pound note, and I think this is a relatively new design that they've put out. They feel kind of like plastic. And one thing to note is that the UK pound notes are actually different sizes. It's not like American money where everything's the same size, you just have different denominations. So anyway, so this one I wanted to hold on to because it has Jane Austen on it, which I thought was really fun. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this, but I wanted to hold on to a Jane Austen note. And it looks like there is kind of an engraving of like a house, like a country estate back there. She's like over her desk writing. And there's a quote that says, "I declare after all there is no enjoyment like reading." So it's nice that they not only have a woman on a note, but they also have a writer, so not just like a politician or something like that. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that quickly. And I guess I'll go ahead and show you this. So we picked up a bottle of Tanqueray. This was 15 pounds, I believe. So this is 1 liter for 15 pounds. But anyway, it was a good deal at the time, so we picked that up. So I guess I'll save the biggest item for last, and the item that was kind of like my birthday present. So one thing I talked about last time, and I always recommend doing, is hitting up the newsstand at the airport. I think they sell these in like other newsstands, not in the airport as well, but I always seem to have the best luck when I go to the airport. So they always have, or often have anyway, very good gifts with purchase included with their magazines. So I got 3 different magazines, and you can see for scale here, they do kind of small travel editions, which is really nice, especially if you can see how large the like normal size is in the back. This is the Harper's Bazaar like bridal issue. So I have a copy of American Allure here. I just wanted to show you size comparisons. So line that up, you can see the smaller one in front. You can see the larger kind of peeking out in the back there. So the American one is a little bit smaller than that Harper's Bazaar. So anyway, so I just wanted to mention that just because I think it's interesting, you know, small differences like that. And then with those magazines, there were, like I said, gifts with purchase. Okay, so I think this was with the May edition of Allure. They had a free nail polish from Nails Inc. It says worth 11 pounds each, and there were actually 3 shades and a base coat, and I ended up picking up the base coat somewhat accidentally. So I'm not sure exactly what colors you could have gotten, but just looking at like the package and like looking through the cover, I thought maybe this was like a green nail polish, but it's actually their superfood base coat. So it actually worked out in the end because I have a fair number of Nails Inc polishes, but I didn't have a base coat from them. And there's no rule that you have to use the base coat and top coat from the same brand as your polish, but I find that it just takes some of the guesswork out of formulas that may conflict with each other. So sometimes there's an ingredient that's incompatible with another polish formula, and it just causes it to like chip faster and everything. Speaking of chips, I did paint my nails. When did I paint them? I just painted them a few days ago, but this is Zoya America. It seemed like an appropriate color for this week. But I think because I did have some underlying like cracks and stuff in my nails, Zoya polish generally just doesn't really last on me that well. But anyway, that's kind of besides the point. So anyway, so I'm happy to have that polish, and it's nice to get that for free. And then with the Marie Claire magazine that I picked up, they had an LMS Pro Collagen Marine Cream, which is right here. This is half a fluid ounce, and it says it's worth 28 pounds. So I don't really know much. It's still sealed, so that's nice. I don't really know much about kind of LMS skincare, but it is a very generous size sample for a magazine. And then last but not least, with the Harper's Bazaar, there was a free sample of Rose Silence by Miller Harris, and they say this one is worth 13 pounds. So it's a nice size. You can see that. And it does have a spray. So I feel like this is better than like some of the roller balls you get as 100 point perks. I always prefer having a spray. And what can I spray here that I don't mind? Alright, so I'm just going to spray this little piece of paper towel. And I have smelled this, but it's been a little while. So nice fine spray too. So this one has a really like fresh rose smell. So I do really enjoy that perfume. I think it's a London-based perfumer as well. Okay, so I think that was it for the magazines. And then my birthday gift, or the thing that I purchased with my birthday money, was a new perfume, or at least it was new at the time. This was Penhaligon's Elizabethan Rose. It has this really cool wax kind of detail there. And this, I think, had just come out, or maybe it had come out a long time ago and they were relaunching it. But we had gone by the Penhaligon store in Covent Garden, and I saw the display for this, and obviously my full name is Elizabeth, and I really enjoy rose scents, and it being Elizabethan rose, being so specifically English, I just thought it would be a great souvenir of the trip. So that is what the bottle looks like. Has that same detail there, and this is supposed to be like, I guess, the neck ruffle or whatever from the Elizabethan era, and that comes off. And it says Penhaligon's on the back. It has a very sort of light pink color to it. So now I need to find something else. Okay, so I'm going to spray the British Museum bag here. And this has a much more like adult, sophisticated rose smell to it. I would say it's more mature without that being a bad thing. Like, it's just more sophisticated, I think. So it's a lot more interesting. The other one, the other rose scent, the gift with purchase, is a nice kind of fresh rose, but this one is more kind of intoxicating, which you don't always get in kind of floral scents like that. So like I said, we did go into the Covent Garden store, and I smelled it, and I wore it on myself like throughout the day. I got a few spritzes, and I think then I went to the duty free. It's like World Duty Free. Show here. That's what the stores are called in Heathrow, and you can kind of, I think, see what the prices are, and you can reserve things, so they're waiting for you when you get there. And doing the price conversion and everything like that ended up being a better deal to buy it at the airport. So anyway, so that was my London haul. I hope you guys are all having a very fun and safe 4th of July, and if you don't have another team still in the World Cup, root for England. They're going against Sweden on Saturday, I believe. So they just beat Colombia in kind of a dramatic way. So anyway, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon.